Chapter 26. Cities. Continued. Lagima. Shigra gamanam. Lightness. Rapid movement. The method prescribed by Neil Pratyar regarding the Kailasa tradition is as follows. For a continuous period of 3 years and 3 months, one must practice pranayama, breath control, in complete darkness. The sadhaka, spiritual aspirant, should sit in a meditative posture, asana, upon a wide, long, and thick mattress, and slowly fill his body with vital air, vayu. Thereafter, without the aid of his hands, and while holding his breath, he must leap upward and descend back onto the mattress without disturbing his meditative posture. If this practice is performed over a prolonged period, the sadhaka will be able to ascend to considerable heights. His body will become exceedingly light. He will be able to sit upon the very tip of a stalk of grain without causing it to bend. Similarly, he will acquire the power to sit on a heap of grain without displacing a single grain or moving in the slightest. To prevent themselves from being swept away by the wind in this state of siddhi, practitioners often bind heavy iron chains to their feet. 2. Neil Pratyar has also recounted an incident involving her own domestic servant. Entertained by the thought that he too could partake of the food prepared for his mistress at a location 50 miles away, he quite unwittingly began to walk in accordance with the specific discipline for shigra gamanam, rapid movement, maintaining a rhythmic pace and chanting the requisite mantras. Immediately, the state of shigra gamanam manifested within him, with his eyes wide open, yet devoid of all other sensory awareness. He traveled with extraordinary speed, exhibiting absolutely no signs of physical exertion, such as fatigue or labored breathing, and arrived at the very spot where the food was located. It was only after a brief interval that he regained his normal consciousness. Having received the mantra pertaining to this discipline of rapid locomotion, known as kamana vidanam, from a guru through a proper initiation, diksha, and having systematically completed the practice of pranayama, one proceeds to receive instruction in even higher mantras. When the 3 elements, mantra chanting, breath regulation, pranasaram, and the rhythm of one's gait are harmonized into a single beat, and when one, having observed a vow of silence, begins to walk with one's gaze fixed directly ahead upon a distant objective, without allowing one's vision to stray to either side, the state of meditative locomotion, kamana nishta, arises spontaneously. In this state, devoid of any sensations other than those strictly necessary for navigating the path, the practitioner travels great distances while remaining immersed in deep meditative absorption. This specific attainment of rapid locomotion, kamana siddhi, manifests most powerfully in vast deserts, across flat and even terrains, and during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk. 3. An example of this kind of rapid locomotion can be cited from our own country. Devotees who, under ordinary circumstances, suffer greatly from severe illness and physical frailty are nonetheless able, through the grace of Lord Murugan, the power of sacred mantras, and the rhythmic influence of devotional music, such as kavadi chindu, to carry extremely heavy kavadis, ceremonial burdens, and traverse vast distances without any sign of fatigue, moving as if they were seated in deep meditative absorption. 4. I myself encountered a sadhu in the Vindhya mountain region. Friends of mine, government officials who were keen hunters, told me that he possessed a speed of locomotion exceeding even that of a galloping horse, and that he would assist them by observing and identifying the tracks left behind by fleeing wild beasts.
Through their assistance, I had the opportunity to meet this sadhu on a couple of occasions and engage him in conversation regarding various aspects of yoga. He offered specific insights and observations concerning some of my own spiritual practices, sadhanas. Although he did not explicitly reveal details regarding his own practices, I inferred that he must have undertaken his spiritual discipline in accordance with the aforementioned Kailash method. It is said that he would go without food for 10 to 15 days at a stretch. Possessing not even a loincloth, he remained completely naked, his entire body thickly smeared with a paste of sacred ash and earth. He never slept. Indeed, he mentioned that he spent most of his nights absorbed in deep spiritual absorption, nishtha, seated in the Padmasana, lotus posture. See image 2. On both occasions when I was in his company, he was continuously smoking a hookah. 5. In this context, the life history of Sadasiva Brahmahendra, a renowned saint of our land, is also worthy of note. Having mastered the scriptures in their entirety, he subsequently embraced the monastic order, sannyasa. Upon attaining spiritual maturity, he cast aside his monastic robes and lived as a supreme avaduta, one who has transcended all worldly ties. Whether walking or sitting, he remained perpetually immersed in the contemplation of the Absolute, Brahmanishta. While wandering in this state of deep spiritual absorption, he once inadvertently entered the inner quarters, Antapura, of a king's palace. Enraged, the guards severed his hand, yet the great sage, proceeding in a state of wandering samadhi, trance, remained utterly oblivious to the injury. Realizing the true nature of the sage, and struck with fear, the guards retrieved the severed hand, chased after him, and caught up. When the king himself prostrated before the sage and begged for forgiveness, the sage's trance momentarily lifted. Observing his severed hand, he simply commanded, "Reattach it." As the king complied, the hand instantly reattached itself, appearing exactly as it had before. The great sage then drifted back into his state of deep spiritual absorption. On another occasion, while the sage was seated in deep meditation upon the sandy banks of the river Kaveri, a sudden flash flood swept in and completely submerged him. The local villagers, however, remained entirely unaware of this event. After 3 months had elapsed, as the water receded and villagers were digging a spring in the sand, they noticed strands of hair. Proceeding with great caution, they dug further and uncovered him. Upon being thus revealed, the great sage emerged from his deep meditative trance, wholly unharmed, and walked away. Nila Piratyar has also recounted another incident that serves as a remarkable testament to spiritual power. The late Dalai Lama sent a palanquin, accompanied by all the customary ceremonial honors, to summon his elderly guru for a temple consecration ceremony. However, as the covered palanquin approached from a distance of several miles, the crowds gathered there were astonished to see the revered elder walking ahead of it, entirely on foot and alone. The elder walked directly into the Garbha Griha, sanctum sanctorum, his gaze fixed unwaveringly upon the magnificent idol of Lord Maitreya that was being consecrated.